Hello, Grizzlies, and welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Gisela K. Thank you so much for being here, for leaving a comment. I hope that you've liked and shared this video already. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. I see there's a lot of people viewing my videos, and about 40% of you guys viewing are not subscribed. So please hit the subscribe button, become part of this wonderful community at Grizzly True Crime. And let's get into some more Idaho news. There's a lot of yes speculation going on, but there's some stuff that I just want to clear up that I see, kind of going out there. There's a couple of things to talk about, and of course, the Moscow Police Department has also released a new video, new updates, and everything. The update was from about an hour ago, so I'm going to share that all with you. I hope that you enjoy it. Thank you, mods, for being here as well. Okay, and I just quickly want to. Okay, wait, I'll do that later. Let's do this. I have a little presentation as well, mini one that I've made for you. Okay, so let's start with this. As always, I start with what the Moscow PD is saying. Marco says, your notifications aren't working. I think it's yours not working. Marco, I say that tongue in cheek. Please make sure you turn the bell off and then back on again, because YouTube's undergone a lot of changes, and it does really help if you turn it off and then back on again. All right, so I hope that you do get the notifications, though. If you subscribe, hit the bell, set it to all, and make sure your back-end notification settings are also on to allow YouTube notifications. So here you can see the City of Moscow Police Department. They say City of Moscow Police Department 1 hour ago for immediate release, December 13th, 2022. All right. Thank you so much, PT Notterman. You say, appreciate you caring for victims, family, and the Grizzlies. Thank you so much. Oh, my word. Yes. Mikey's Mammy. Woohoo. 90K. Thank you so much. 90,000 Grizzlies. Oh, my word. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it. It's a very nice milestone to reach, definitely. So I hope those of you, the 40% who haven't subscribed, will subscribe, and then we can get to 100K. Some people have challenged me to get there by the end of the year. Challenge accepted. So, City of Moscow Police Department, December 13, 2022, Moscow, Idaho. 1 month after the murders took place. And yes, you guys, today is the 13th. So it's actually a very somber, sad day. It's 1 month since the murders happened. And I again remind us that it's been only 1 month. This is not a CSI episode. Things are not going to get solved overnight. It's like, oh my word, still not a suspect. Yeah, it's been 1 month in a very high profile case. Imagine all the other cases we've never heard about either. Thank you so much, Christy Dunn. Okay. So they say 1 month after the murders took place, investigators continued to piece together what happened in the hours leading up to the crime in order to determine who is responsible. This, while asking the public to stay focused on the official facts released by the Moscow Police Department. Over the past 4 weeks, rumors and speculation has led members of the public to provide tips based on rumors rather than official information about the case. So what I could say about that is, we could talk about things, but if you're going to provide a tip, yeah, man, make sure. I know they say no, nothing is too small and you can provide a tip, but the thing is, I think their tip lines are being flooded with everything that's on Reddit. We're going to look at the 4chan post today as well and kind of decode that a little bit. It's just, that must be so exhausting for them to receive so many tips that are just about what's going on Facebook, Reddit, and everywhere else. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Okay. So they say stay focused, right? And they've been providing tips based on rumors rather than official information about the case. The public is reminded that tips should be provided to the Moscow Homicides tip line, which is now routed to a national FBI tip line to best gather, prioritize, and distribute valuable tips to investigators. Callers need to use the 208-883-7180 number and not send tips to the Moscow Police Department. So that's very important to remember as well. Karen says, I firmly believe they do have a suspect for sure. Karen, I must agree with you, because yesterday they said, we don't want just an arrest. We want a conviction. So they are already talking lawyer talk, you know what I mean? The legal stuff, the prosecution stage. So that's actually promising, and they said they have an army of analysts as well. So that's great. They say here, use this tip line. You need to call 208-883-7180. And do not send tips to the Moscow Police Department. The FBI line also takes calls regarding other reports, so please be patient during the call. FBI tip line guide. Here we go. After dialing the number, callers will hear some initial recorded messages. After that, the process of being transferred to an operator begins. There are two prompts. For the first prompt, press 1 for tips currently highlighted in the news. For the second prompt, press 4 to provide information about the Moscow, Idaho homicides. Please be sure to make your way to an operator. Your tip may be the piece of information that solves this crime. Rumors and speculation have also affected the families of the victims, friends, and fellow students. In some cases, this has led to harassing and threatening behavior toward potentially involved parties. I mean, oh my word. They've been getting death threats and everything. Anyone engaging in threats or harassment, whether in person, online, or otherwise, needs to understand that they could be subjecting themselves to criminal charges. I do also want to say I've been looking at the police call logs, and one of the harassment calls that was called in was actually from Daily Mail reporters, not YouTubers. They said the Daily Mail is going around knocking on doors and harassing people, and that was called into the police. So that was interesting to read. See an interview reflecting on the last month and where the investigation is headed with Captain Roger Lanier with the Moscow Police Department, who is in charge of the Operations Division of the King Road Homicide Investigation. This interview was recorded today, December 13th, 2022, and is available for public and media use. Put a 1 in the chat if you've seen that video. Put a 2 in the chat if you haven't yet. I just want to gauge, who's seen it. Okay. I'm just checking what you guys are saying here. All right. So they say the investigation continues with the same amount of resources. Moscow Police Department, 6 detectives, 5 support staff, communications team. The FBI's got 46 investigators in Moscow and located throughout the United States, 2 behavioral analysis unit investigators. The Idaho State Police has 13 investigators in Moscow, 15 uniformed troopers assisting with community patrol, and ISP forensic services. And all those details are in the description box for you. A lot of 2s in the house. Okay, you guys haven't seen it. Cool. I will show it to you, and we're going to boost the audio. You're going to get the best audio right here. So yes, thank you so much. Okay, sorry, I'm laughing at some of the comments. Okay. So let's have a look at, is this now? Yeah, this is the press release. I first want to show you the video. Just do it like this. And full screen. And are we ready, everyone? Let's watch the latest video. This was uploaded just a little while ago. I've watched it a few times already. Well, here they say 20 minutes ago, but I don't think that's it. It was just recently. So let's have a look at this together with boosted audio.
Talk about the first time you heard about what happened. How did you react? What were your first steps as an investigator?
Yeah, well, it was hard. I got called at home. It was on a Sunday afternoon, and it took me a second. I really had to think about what I had just heard. 4 murders in Moscow, Idaho is so out of character, and at the time, they were fairly certain it was college students, and it was near the campus, and that area is kind of a campus community. So once I got over the initial shock, I knew that I was coming to the station. So I drove in, and everybody just kind of fell into a role. That was a all hands on deck moment Sunday afternoon. It became fairly apparent when I got to the scene that we were going to need resources outside of just what the Moscow Police Department could provide. And we have a very, very good working relationship with the Idaho State Police. We knew what their capabilities were, and so that was the first call that we made to have their investigative team come up and help us process the scene. The scene wasn't chaos, the neighborhood, but it was very, very somber. Like I said, that is a community of college students that live over there. Many of them, through word of mouth, knew what had happened. They were standing outside. There was a lot of crying. There were friends trying to find out who exactly was inside the house. Some family members that arrived on scene. It was incredibly hard for the community, but it was also really, really hard on our officers, some of whom were very young, and that was
I'm just going to pause it there. I think that is one of the things that Kaylee's dad had said is, oh my word, one of the officers is like 26 years old, So kind of not trusting them because this one guy was so young. But I mean, I suppose there's going to be young ones, old ones. There's a whole fleet of them working this case as well. He's describing the scene, Captain Roger Lanier here. He's describing the scene from when he arrived at the house on a Sunday. You got the call at home, of course, and just what it was like. And so many fraternity people outside, so many people trying to figure out what happened, who's in the house, what's going on. So it sounds really hectic. DRA Latina, wow, oh my goodness, thank you so much. So proud of the exponential growth of your channel. You are a role model for women of all ages, articulate, compassionate, quirky, and with a keen intellect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Oh my word, I will take those words to heart. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Wow, thank you, everyone. Oh my word.
The first real major crime scene that they had encountered. So emotionally, it was a very, very draining day. But resources came, and then the first about 3 days was just an adjustment, trying to get resources in place and then get a system that worked for everybody. The FBI got involved almost immediately. And the FBI, the Idaho State Police, and the Moscow Police Department all have a little bit different way of doing things. And that's okay, but when you're working collectively, you have to put a system in place that starts information flowing and you can handle it in a logical manner. So fortunately, the FBI has some experience in those areas, and they were very, very good at helping us set up their virtual command post. And then once everything was in place, it became a very, very systematic method of processing the information that was coming in.
Can you sum up the last month in terms of the investigation?
Yeah, a lot of emotional highs and lows, but an incredible amount of teamwork. The general public doesn't have any idea the scope of this investigation, the number of people that are involved, not just here in Moscow, but investigative and interview teams in the northern part of Idaho, the southern part of Idaho, the eastern part of Idaho, resources from the Salt Lake City FBI office, the Coeur d'Alene FBI office, analysts back in Virginia, and the number of people that have flown here or driven here from great distances to just lend their specialty to this investigation. We have the FBI's command post in our parking lot, and we've hooked them up to Wi-Fi, and everything that they would normally do down in Salt Lake City, they're doing right here in our parking lot. So the team effort has been amazing. It's been overwhelming at times, but there are so many people with so much expertise. Somebody always steps up and takes the role that needs to be filled.
What role has speculation, rumors, and the conversations on social media play in the investigation?
Yeah, that has been.
So here we're going to address some of the rumors and everything that's been going around as well.
And by far the most frustrating part of this. We've always closely guarded the information that we've discovered at the scene and our investigative information, because we want to protect the integrity of this investigation. And just look at social media and the rumors that fly out there. A small piece of information that has speculation added to it just takes its own life on the internet and starts rumors. And then we find ourselves not only tracking those rumors down and trying to quell them, but also we see our tips that come in are geared more toward the rumor, not the facts that have been put out. And the really unfortunate part of it is the effect that it's had on the victims' families, on the college students and friends of the victims, some of whom have had death threats, and constant harassment by various media outlets. So it's been devastating in some ways. In many ways, it just re-victimizes folks who have already suffered this terrible trauma.
What is next for this investigation?
Well, this investigation is not cold. We get tips every day that are viable. We get dozens and dozens of tips. We sort through them, we prioritize them, and for sure, some of them are not good tips. They're not even relevant to the case. But every single day, we get a good amount of viable tips, and those tips help us do everything from clear people who maybe there was some speculation about, to further some of the theories that we're working on. So the next is just to continue on what we're doing, eliminate the information that we know is not going to be relevant to the investigation, and take all the new information. And eventually, and we see this coming, eventually we're going to narrow in on exactly what happened and who did it.
Very interesting. Kathy Richardson, you say U of I had a big football game? Yes, they had one that weekend, right? The team they played had a frat house member stabbed multiple times a few weeks ago. The team they played. Okay, could you email me that? That would be very interesting to dive into. Thank you so much. Headers Better Slot says, I'm very much enjoying your channel. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you enjoy the way that I present true crime, you guys make sure that you are subscribed, okay? And then if you could like the video and share it, that would be amazing as well. Thank you. Unite for Peace 88 says, thank you, Grizzly. You make these cases so much easier to process. And of course, we love your accent. Thank you so much. That's the goal. We do true crime with sensitivity, right? So thank you so much for being here. Let me know what you guys think about this right here. This is the latest video that they've just uploaded today to the Moscow Police PIO YouTube channel. Okay, so we've had a look at that. Then if we go to this one, to this website right here, which I always link for you, I hope you check out the timestamps and things that I make for you. Here is the latest, which I did say I'd read to you as well. For those of you who are here for all the 4chan stuff and the accidental drowning, all that, we will get to it. We will get to it. I just always start with looking at exactly what law enforcement is saying so that we can work through that, because that's where all the facts are at, and that's really what helps in the case, right? The rest we can discuss because we want to discuss it as a community, but we need to look at these facts first. Okay. Thank you so much. Homo erectus, the Grizzly channel is the best I've seen. Also, the Grizzly viewers have been the most responsible in speculation. Some channels out there are erratic. Thank you so much. Very proud of this community. So yeah, if you want to become part of this community, let's grow the Grizzly community. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so I think some of you only just recently discovered me. I hope you'll check out some of my previous, playlists and stuff so that you can get the vibe that we've got going on here. Okay, because definitely it's unique. Press release. Okay, Moscow homicide update. The Moscow Police Department is providing the following information to update the public on the known facts, you see, surrounding the 4 murders that occurred on November 13th in Moscow, Idaho. So this is because people were also asking, what about the car and everything? They will just go over some of that now again as well. And yes, Kathleen's reminding everyone, timestamps are always pinned in the comments after each live video. And believe me, you guys, it's hard work after a stream to put all those chapters in for you. It's like chapters, the whole video, timestamps with, if you want to just see exactly where something is. If you don't want to listen to this police stuff, then don't worry. If you're on the replay, look at the pinned comment. It'll tell you exactly where to go. Like I'll say at 40 minutes, we discussed the 4chan stuff, for example, So there you go. Okay, so they say here, this is the same as what we saw on Facebook, the FBI tip line. Rumors and speculation have affected the families of the victims, friends, and fellow students. I'm assuming also neighbors. In some cases, this has led to harassing and threatening behavior toward potentially involved parties. Anyone engaging in threats or harassment, whether in person, online, or otherwise, needs to understand that they could be subjecting themselves to criminal charges. Again, I'm proud of this police department for saying that, because I haven't often heard police departments say it, and it needs to be said, because otherwise people think they can do whatever they want, call whoever they want, threaten whoever they want, dox whoever they want, and there'll be no consequences. That's normally what we see, right? Hey, Valerie, thank you for becoming a member. And Valerie, thank you so much for your emails. I suck at replying, but I see them all, and they are very, very helpful. W.A. Russell says, happy holidays, Grizz, from the Russells in Santa Fe. Hey, thank you so much. And Jan says, we appreciate everything you do so very much. Thank you so much. For any replay watchers saying, stop interrupting the stream with this is a live stream. Be part of it sometime. This is not a clean, crisp video from beginning to end in 20 minutes with a neat little bow. It's a live stream. I predominantly live stream on this channel. We have a very interactive, very passionate community, and I thank all of you who can make it here. Okay. Make sure you wait for the operator. So this is the same. Here you can go. That's the video we just watched. Okay. So as previously reported, just to clear it up, I'm just showing you again based on questions asked earlier. They say 2011 to 2013, Hyundai Elantra. Investigators would like to thank the community and the public for the recent information provided about the vehicle and the spike in tips. The FBI is prioritizing and vetting those tips for use in the investigation. The public is asked to continue to use the tip line to report any information about the vehicle. I did see somewhere on the internet earlier that someone had reported a Hyundai Elantra parked at like I don't know if it was a gas station or a shopping center or something, and they called it in, but it was taking so long, while they were waiting on the phone, they actually just uploaded a video to YouTube, which was also helpful because then it got a lot more people to call it in. So we'll see what will come from that as well. Okay. Thank you so much, Paul K, for your super sticker. I really appreciate it. Right now, I'm talking about the Idaho case, but I really appreciate it, and I've seen that. Thank you so much. Okay, so they say detectives remain interested in speaking with the occupants of a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra with an unknown license plate. Tips and leads have led investigators to look for additional information about this vehicle being in the immediate area of the King Road residence during the early morning hours of November 13th. Investigators believe the occupants of this vehicle may have critical information to share regarding this case. The rest of it is pretty much the same. They've got the pictures there. If this is the first time you're seeing it, now you could see it. 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra is what they're interested in. An unknown license plate. I wonder if it's like an illegal one, one that was covered up. Is it one they just can't see because of grainy footage? I'm not too sure. They've also got the entire timeline here. So if you just want to look back at that and the whole search area, that they blocked off in the parameters of like, this is where we're searching for video footage and all of that. That is great as well. And you can see how many calls, how many emails, how much digital evidence they've received, 113 pieces of physical evidence collected. Oh my word. And then they've got this rumor control section as well, which is also really, really great. So that clears things up there as well. Okay. So there we got that going on. I just want to quickly see. Eugene says, how hard is it to cheek swab the fraternity? The problem is rights. I don't think they can do that legally. That would be great. Just put everyone on a database in the world. I often say that, but I don't think that's legal at all. You can't people have to consent to give their DNA, right? Okay, so we've got that going on. Okay, just hold on 1 second. We are going to get to the 4chan stuff. I just quickly want to close that so we can see exactly what we've done. Yes, and we've looked at that. So then we're looking at the frat stuff. Okay, just wait 1 second. I wanted to tell you about this before we get to the 4chan stuff. This I've been seeing brewing a little bit, and I just do find it interesting. I know a lot of people are reinterested in Hannah Clear's case, but her dad has a Twitter account, and he was saying, I am Hannah's dad. This was no foul play. This was an overdose from over-the-counter sleeping medication. But yet I can see that there's a lot of speculation going on about Hannah Clear's death as well. Why would she take too much or unalive herself or any of that? I don't know. I think it's pure rumor at this point. Based on everything I've researched, that Maddie was a roommate of Hannah Clear's. I think it's also not nice to say, oh, Maddie and them, they were mean girls, because by all accounts, Maddie sounds like a wonderful person. Everybody says she was the sweetest, sweetest lady. So I think we just got to be careful with that. We don't want to victim blame or shame ever. Okay, not in this community. So here they say this was from May 1st, 2022. The Moscow Police Department identified the person whose deceased body was found Sunday morning in Paradise Creek. Now remember Paradise Creek, if the name rings a bell, it is because, we're discussing that now, Laura. It is Paradise Creek was where that knife threat happened. And then they say that person turned themselves in and all that. But anyway, it was along Paradise Creek, which is very close there on campus. And they say, according to a news release, 19-year-old Hudson Lindo of Boise was found dead in the creek approximately 11:30 a.m. near College Avenue. The next of kin has been notified and the investigation is ongoing. The police do not suspect foul play at this time. Man, the problem is just I don't know how a 19-year-old just accidentally drowned. We see this happen. We see this. What was that recent case? There was a young female student as well that recently was like, oh, whoops, she got home, brushed her teeth, and then just accidentally, she walked out and died. And I'm like, what? What is that? Wasn't her name Mishra, something like that. Anyway, point is, I'm just like, interesting. So before that, they said the Moscow Police Department is currently trying to identify a deceased body found Sunday morning in Paradise Creek. Police Chief James Fry said the body was found near College Avenue near a bridge. The body was discovered by a citizen who was traveling on a nearby bike path. We're still in the initial investigation to try to determine who the individual is and what takes place. Technical out. Thank you so much. You say, hey, lady, thank you for your empathic coverage of tragedies such as in Idaho. I've started my own legal channel called Piney Woods Law and Crime. Hope to have your support. Hey, thank you so much. And send me an email with what your legal experiences is. And then, it's always good to, there's a lot of lawyers in the chat and experts. So it's always good to have experts in the chat. Thank you so much. All right. So that's this one. And then where is the actual, just hold on one second. I've got an article about it. This one. Now, I don't know. This is not like the most reputable source, but Mao. How did Hudson Lindo die? Another University of Idaho student's death this year sparks speculation. So this is speculation, okay? So speculation warning. We looked at all the facts, and now we're just going to talk about some stuff that's going around because I find it interesting. Let me know what you think. On November 13th, between 3 and 4 in the morning, the bodies of Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Maddie Mogen, and Kaylee Goncalves were found on the second and third floors of an off-campus apartment complex in Moscow, Idaho. The deaths are believed to have been committed with a fixed-blade knife as the students were nodding off. So this case has shaken the whole town as the investigation continues, still with no suspects and arrests in hand. 1 month. The growing pressure from the victim's family and speculation from internet sleuths have made this case more complex and fragile. Recently, a Twitter user revealed other chilling details from Idaho that were previously shared on Facebook about someone else who wasn't a victim of the aforementioned incident. So, very likely unconnected. It's just interesting. You see what I mean? Like, this is such a high-profile case, but we haven't heard about this death at all. So we're looking, I know people now are looking at, well, who else has died at the University of Idaho this year, in the last 2 years, whatever, recently, right? So they say the user has unveiled an individual named Hudson Lindo, who was found dead in Paradise Creek on January 5th, 2022. His death was due to accidental drowning. But this user has alarmed some speculating questions about his death. The post has even scrutinized the police of Moscow and its working authorities in Lindo's case. The post read, I have questions. Moscow law enforcement have been running with this whole nothing like this has ever happened here narrative. So does anyone care to explain this? U of I student Hudson Lindo was found dead in Paradise Creek on 05/01/2022. You read that right. Another student from U of I died earlier this year. Context, 04/30/2022, the night before. See, they're talking about 05/15/1. Okay. 4/30/2022, the night before, Delta Tau Delta held its 90th annual ball. Yes, so we're going 30th of April. I'm just looking at the date, sorry. Delta Tau Delta held its 90th annual ball. Xana, Maddie, Jake, and JS were all in attendance. Hudson's body was found the next morning in a creek right outside Greek Row. Hudson's death was ruled an accidental drowning. The post further read, could mean literally nothing, but also here's a picture of Hudson outside of the girl's house and a map to see where his body was found in relation to the frats or sororities. One of Hudson's friends, blurred out in the photo, is Delta Tau Delta president, the same frat that JS, which is Jack number 3, was supposedly kicked out of. And riddle me this, where are all the stories on this investigation? Police immediately said there was no foul play upon finding his body. How? What led him to ending up in the creek that night? Everyone was just like, he drowned and moved on. The post at last read, not trying to create conspiracy theories here, but for a small town, there sure are some crazy coincidences. Make it make sense. Okay. So that is what people are talking about. Now, why are we talking about it here on Grizzly True Crime? The only reason I would talk about it is because, as Detective Ken Maines from Unsolved No More says, he summarizes that there's 3 reasons, 3 motives. Why do people kill? Greed, sex, revenge. So I'm like, revenge. If we just look a little bit at, we've looked at many other angles, right? But if it's like, we've looked at maybe sexually motivated angles, we've looked at a voyeur, we've looked at all kinds of profiles and things. We've had criminal profiler John Kelly on the show, also sharing his thoughts. He's going to be on the show again tomorrow talking about Delphi. So I hope you guys are ready for that. That is going to be very exciting. But there's a lot of people that have emailed me. I'm like, what about the revenge angle? What if someone was having revenge for something, which could be unrelated to the 4 victims, but maybe it could be in that person's mind completely related. We just don't know, right? We just don't know. Let's see. Oh, sorry if I'm missing anything. Welcome to all the new members. Marie says, love your program. Thank you so much. So the reason I just want to see cases with Cal said, did you ever see the alcohol incident report? Wonder if any of those guys were from the frat. I would assume they were from the frat, but I didn't see the report. Do you have the report? If anyone's got the actual report, please send it to me. We're going to get to the 4chan stuff. But the point is, to me, there's a lot of cases that we've seen where it's just like, whoops, they drowned, and it just makes no sense to me. Like Jelani Day, a case I've covered before in the past, so check that case out as well. There's a lot of things that are like, huh. And so you're telling me that this person just ended up in the water, just like got into a creek or a river, or whatever it is, and it just drowned? It just makes no sense sometimes, right? So interesting. Okay, and you guys are like, say the 4. You guys are all 4chan. Oh man, you guys are so excited for the 4chan. Okay, I've got the 4chan post here on a presentation so that we can look at it together. Here I say, what do all 4 victims have in common? I do it like this because we got to think like this, because there's 4 victims. 2 people in the house are unharmed. Maybe the killer got tired. We don't know. Maybe they got so tired after killing 4 people, they're like, okay, I'm just going to head out now, whatever. That could happen. It is possible. It takes a lot of strength to do. If one person did this, it would take a lot of strength for them to do, right? So that is the thing as well. I know you guys are all, there's a few of you saying drunk drownings are unfortunately common. That is true as well. Could be that. It just would be great if there was like a toxicology report or official information about that as well to clear up some speculation. So maybe it will be, right? Okay, welcome to 5,000 Grizzlies. I hope each and every one of you is subscribed. If not, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. It looks great when I see 90,000 Grizzlies, 91. We're all here together. And then you'll never miss out, especially if you hit the bell. Then you can be here for, especially tomorrow, John Kelly talking about the Delphi case. Okay. So let's quickly read this before I get into this. J. Sykes said, my theory is that somehow drugs are involved. I think the roommates were hiding drug evidence, hence the delayed call to 911. What do you think? I'm not too sure. I don't know. I'm more in line with what John Kelly was saying the other day. So if you missed that episode, check it out. But, okay, what do all 4 victims have in common? So firstly, they attended the same university. 3 lived in the same house, and 1 was sleeping over. They all got home around the same time that night. So Xana and Ethan around 1:45, and Maddie and Kaylee around 1:56, according to Kaylee's sister, who got the footage to say they got home at 1:56 a.m. Now, 2 worked at the same restaurant, Maddie and Xana. Initially, there were rumors that Kaylee had also worked there. Initially, it was actually reported that Maddie and Kaylee worked at the Mad Greek restaurant. So I don't know if Kaylee had ever worked there or not. That would still be interesting to me. Where did Kaylee work? Where did Ethan work? Just out of interest sake. Those are questions I have, right? The same 2, Maddie and Xana were in the Pi Beta Phi sorority, and Kaylee was in Alpha Phi, and Ethan was in the Sigma Chi fraternity. But they're all within proximity of the campus of all super close, lots of parties happening. I mean, the night before, on the Friday night, Kaylee and Maddie had gone to the Pi Beta Phi sorority party, according to Kaylee's mother. So, there's lots of things to consider. And yes, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just saying things that you guys haven't heard of. I hope you have. But there's like there's another rumor of some girl who is making a movie called Kill the Clones, but that's been taken down from YouTube. Otherwise, I would have showed it to you long ago, because that was very interesting, and her posts and suggestions were also very, very violent. So who knows what's going on there? And now it's been taken down. A lot of these kids at the university have taken down their social media or made it private or whatever. So there's not too much to see there. Now, yes, Mrs. Mack, I've got the email. I've had a look at Hannah's online obituary, and I have also watched her entire funeral, and her family has asked for peace. So, yes, Yes, welcome to all the content creators rolling in. So nice to see you. I believe the glare is in the house, so welcome. I was in your chat the other day. You're like, who's a grizzly? What are grizzlies? Why are all the grizzlies? That's me. Welcome. Yes, this case is grizzly. Oh, my word. Okay. Caroline says, so we're going to get into this. Post-college plans. Could near future employment have anything to do with it? HR staffer gone stalker. What's interesting is that there was a company that Maddie was associated with, but then so was Jack Showalter and someone else. I just can't remember who that was now. Anyway, that's all. There's so many rabbit holes. Let me tell you guys that. I'm just sharing a few with you here today, especially because I see, you know, stuff floating around that I'm like, what is going on here? And a lot of people have emailed me to help me clear it up as well. So 4chan is an anonymous English language image board website. Kind of like Reddit, but again, anonymous, you see. So that is what it is for those of you who don't know, which is why I'm bringing this to you, because in 2022, when it's like college kids, of course, all with social media, there could be, I mean, that's why the FBI got involved immediately as well, because they're going to help a lot with the digital evidence, right? Can you imagine how much they're going through with all the social media platforms, all the connections, all the messages, all the threats that maybe any of the victims or all of the victims received? We don't know. There's so much to look at. Now, 4chan is where anonymous fraternity boys have been posting. And I just feel like, why would I completely ignore that? I don't normally report on things as like Facebook or Reddit or like 4chan, but I'm just like, it's interesting though. So let's just have a look at it. Speculation warning. We're just speculating and looking at what was said on there. And I'm just going to break it down for you a little bit because I see there was quite a bit of mass confusion on it as well. Okay. And Gothic's Brinax says 4chan is a terrible place. I know, right? I've been in the 4chan rabbit hole in the Delphi case. Interestingly enough, if you've deep dived the Delphi case with me, if you haven't yet, please catch up, especially for tomorrow, before tomorrow. I'm sure you will enjoy it if you've never heard of it before, meaning the deep dive and everything. The point is, someone like 5 years ago on 4chan had mentioned the name Richard as Bridge Guy. 4chan. And now it turns out they've arrested a guy called Richard Allen. So 4chan is interesting, especially because people can hide behind the whole anonymous thing. So what do they all have in common? We've looked at that, right? And then I say 2 went to the Sigma Chi party that night, Xana and Ethan, and 2 went to the corner club. I'm saying out of the 4 victims. 3 allegedly, big allegedly, okay, this is based on the 4chan stuff. 3 allegedly have beef with a Sigma Chi guy. 3 of them. Ethan, Xana, and Maddie. And Kaylee wasn't actually going to be there that weekend. So that got me thinking, the whole like greed, sex, or revenge. What if it is revenge? What if somebody has beef, with Ethan and therefore also his girlfriend, and maybe they got beef with Maddie, and those were the intended targets, and maybe Kaylee just happened to be there that weekend. We're going to look at all of it, right? Okay, so off we go. Let's go. Let's get to the 4chan. Oh, first the code. We're decoding first. Now, write this down, especially if you've got a Grizzly notebook. 4chan post. E equals Ethan Chapin. X equals Xana Kernodle. M is Maddie Mogen in all this like frat lingo. Loach is David Loach. SX Sigma Chi. And Barry is David Barriocha. I don't know how to say his surname. Yes, he's got a Twitter account and everything. He's been posting on there as well. I'm naming it just because they're on this 4chan post. So then you know who's who and what on earth is going on here. Okay. So pictured the pictures. Starting on the left, that's David Loach. On the right, the other David, 2 Davids. That's David Berry, let's call him. And then we've got Xana, Maddie, and Ethan. Okay. I haven't got Kaylee on this picture because I was talking about the beef alleged on the 4chan post between Loach and the other 3. Okay. Are we good? Hope so. Okay. So apparently this is what somebody typed on 4chan. Again, speculation, big time speculation. We're just going to look at it so that we can see. Can we make sense of what the hell this person's saying? Apparently, the night of the murders, E and Loach, so Ethan and David Loach, got into a fight at Sigma Chi. And Ethan said that David Loach has shriveled balls from roids. So, I mean, if he is on roids, that can also make major temper flares, right? I've seen it myself. I've experienced it firsthand from a boyfriend. I'm like, oh my word, get off that stuff. What the hell? Okay. So they say X was talking shit too. X is Xana. Loach has long-standing beef with Ethan, and apparently Maddie too. Barry, which is the other David, and Loach are butt buddies who talked about murder fantasies before. Again, this is just what I'm reading here, okay? We're just reading it. Thank you, William Kowalski. Great job. We enjoy your channel. Lots of work. Kudos. Thank you so much. Yes, and Diane says, you are so passionate. I am. Okay. So here they say, also, something about Barry being Ethan's tutor and not doing well with it. You could see all the people on the screen there, right? So shriveled balls comment triggered the roid rage in Loach, and his little twink sidekick carried out their long-standing fantasy together. This is at least what I gathered from Frat Anon. So there's a Frat Anon, anonymous frat boy. Oh, yeah, it wouldn't be girl. Frat boy posting on 4chan. Then they also said one person doing the wet work and up to 3 people on the lookout. Frat beef and jealousy over Xana, perhaps? The one guy, Barry, his parents own a professional cleaning service. The poster claims to even know where the knife is. It all checks out so far. Barry seems to be quite the incel. He is only in the frat to boost the GPA. He was also Ethan's tutor. So that's a second person saying that. Now, why I started finding this a little bit interesting is because, of course, yes, I know there's a Reddit deep dive as well. I believe there's a channel called Sweetie Pie Low that deep dive. I did watch it, deep dive on the Reddit stuff of someone speaking in first person as if they are the killer, really describing a whole bunch. And they talked about the 2 girls being in the bed together before that even came out. But maybe someone had sent that to Katie's dad, and maybe that's where he got it from. You don't know what people are sending the family, and I really hope no one in this community contacts the family. Please don't do that. Okay, so they say, this second person that said one person doing the wet work and up to 3 people on the lookout. Why is that interesting? Well, it's interesting because of this. This now, you know that extended body cam footage that came out? Well, yeah, about 100 people sent this to me. I saw it. Because here they talk about Idaho police camp captured the group of people walking near the crime scene the night of the murders. At first, I'm like, what are they going on about? No, we want to play this. Then here in the background, it looks like about 4 people. I can't see exactly how many. Wait, hello. There you go. Play it again. Just watch quickly. Yes, play it again. My word. There. There at the back is supposedly a group of people running. It could have absolutely nothing to do with it. Absolutely. It could have nothing to do with it, okay? I'm just saying, I found it interesting when you start piecing together some things and you're like, what? So Idaho murders group spotted walking in the background, a body cam video taken near the crime scene at 3 a.m. We'll go back to more 4chan stuff in a moment. Several people can be seen walking in the background of police body cam video taken near the King Road home of where 4 University of Idaho students were killed in their sleep on November 13th and around the same time. Plainclothes officers made an unrelated stop of the 3 University of Idaho students for suspected underage drinking at about 2:50 a.m. What if Ethan called us in? How do we know? How do we know who made that call to say, you know what, there's some underage drinking going on there. You need to shut this party down. We don't know. If it is a revenge angle, there's many things that can be considered in this day and age, social media wise, I don't know, just frat boy wise, college in general, the tensions between all the different fraternities and sororities and all that kind of thing. Quentin Lewis says it looks like 5 people. Yeah, we're going to really look it down. You say 6 people, my word. You guys are like 4 people, 6 people, 5. That's the point too. We could look at it all day, right? Tactical Repew says more than 1 killer. Possible frat game, especially with drowning before. I could see a wheel getting spun and you have to kill whoever the wheel stops. Interesting. Thank you so much for that comment. I mean, that's why I say on my thumbnail is it frat boys. Could it be more than one killer? It could actually be. We've never said it can't be. I mean, right? Could be 2 or more people. 2 could make sense to do that really quickly. I'm just saying. Anyway, so they say the group was stopped about 1/10 of a mile from the off-campus rental where Madison Mogen, her best friend Kaylee, Ethan, and his girlfriend Xana were brutally stabbed to death between 3 and 4 a.m. The 3 women lived together, and Chapin, who lived about 200 yards away at Sigma Chi, was staying over. So here they've slowed it down. Police have previously said that investigators found nothing of evidentiary value in the body cam videos, but it remains unclear whether they have identified or interviewed the people walking. Fox News Digital asked about the images on multiple occasions, beginning Saturday, and has not yet received a response. Online sleuths spotted a group of figures who can be seen walking near the intersection of King Road and Taylor Avenue, 2 houses down from the crime scene. Olivia Vital, a true crime blogger with more than 1 million followers on TikTok, went viral Saturday with the details. She said she believes someone walking with the group may have information that could help investigators. I mean, I don't know. How do we know? Alexa says, yes, Roid Rage would explain it. We will go back to the 4chan in a moment. Between the people with law enforcement and the people in the background of the body cam footage, there's about half a dozen people. The importance is they may have witnessed something unbeknownst to them. The body cam is stamped at 3:12 a.m. That is an important time. If the murders happened between 3 and 4, I understand why people are looking at the footage because it's like the body cam is from at 3:12 a.m. Police have previously maintained that they believe the murders took place between 3 and 4 that morning. Did they see anything? Did they hear anything? Even if they come forward and say, okay, it's us, we didn't see anything, nothing. Fine, great. Okay, so that's what's happening there. Cases with Cal says were Bethany and Dylan in a sorority. Yes, the same one as Maddie. Yes, they were. Okay, there are 6,000 grizzlies here. I'm going to have to just slow it down a little bit more. I'm so sorry about that. Sorry about that, everyone. I'll make sure that you only have to subscribe for 1 minute. And then the chat, I'm going to have to make it 63. Yeah. Wait. Let's make it 120 for now. And by me. Fine. I hope that's good. Okay. Let me know though. So back to what we were looking at. So if we look at this again on 4chan, they said 1 person doing the wet work and up to 3 people on the lookout. It could be 5 people then. If it's 6 people seen there, we just don't know. We don't know. So that's posted on 4chan. Carrying on now. Okay, so I'm going to start on the left. They say, I have it on good authority. Cousin is a cop in a nearby town, but called in to help in Moscow once school started back up. Apparently, the investigation is looking directly at the Sigma Chi frat party that Ethan and Xana attended from 8 to 9 that night. He did not have any updates on their timeline after they left 9 to 1:45, but did say it looks like the investigation is honing in on 2 suspects from the party that night, and an update should publicly name them by the end of the week. So the thing is, that is a big mystery. This whole what happened at Sigma Chi? What's the alcohol-related incident? What happened at the ball? Was Xana at the ball? What happened between 9 and 1:45? Very interesting. Very interesting, right? Stefan says, a 6,000 bear sleuth. Did you guys know that a group of bears is called a sleuth? So for everyone who's like, why grizzly? Why is it grizzly true crime? What is a grizzly? Do you have grizzlies in South Africa or the Netherlands? No, we're a sleuth. We're a group of grizzly bears, okay? But I also just like it. I just love grizzly bears. Okay. So carrying on. Sigma has made their socials private and removed all info from Facebook going back a few years. Now, I was like, really though? Are you sure about that? But then I went to look and I'm like, oh, damn, they really did. Oh, my word. They actually did that. Why did they do that? That makes me suspicious. What do you guys think? Good. Sorry, I think I'm missing some things. Gerald, unconfirmed, but there's allegedly a photo of the house at 3:09 a.m. on the 13th. I wonder if that's a photo of the house, oh, okay, I think that's from the Reddit one, right? So if I missed anyone's sticker, thank you, Gerald. Thank you so much, W.A. Russell, and thank you, D.R.A. Latina. I could just see them highlighted at the top there. Thank you so much. Okay, so if you look here, the Sigma Chi University of Idaho fraternity, yeah, all the posts have been removed that are recent, and now it only goes to October 1st, 2018. Why is that? Why? I don't know. but I'm like, that's interesting. Did the FBI remove it? Sometimes the FBI removes things or limits comments or whatever. They can do that. Thank you, Gerald. Oh, wait, sorry, you say on 4chan. Okay. So, yes, here it is. And we can also see it. Wait, there's one here. We've got Idaho Sigma Chi on Twitter. There's only up to August 6th, 2019. The rest may have not been posted or may have been deleted. I'm not too sure. So that goes up to 2019. So nothing for 2020, 2021, or 2022. And then Instagram, Idaho Sigma Chi. We've looked at this members only probably 2 weeks ago already. So if you want deep dives on some of these behind the scenes things I do with the research and telling you what tips I may have called in myself and stuff like that, yeah, we do that sometimes with our PJ parties for members and patrons. Okay. So here as well, let's just see. I just want to see when this post is from. This one's from November 23rd. So this is way more current. You can see Ethan is here as well. The Gamma Eta chapter of Sigma Chi is grieving the loss of our beloved brother, Ethan Chapin, following the senseless tragedy that took his life over the weekend. We collectively extend our sincerest condolences and our most heartfelt thoughts and prayers to the family of our dear brother Ethan, Xana Kernodle, Maddie Mogen, and Kaylee Goncalves. We also extend our most tender sympathies and fervent support to the women of Alpha Phi and Pi Beta Phi, who also join us in grieving their loss. We respectfully ask for time and space so we may support each other in our healing process during this most unimaginable of times. GoFundMe link can be found in the bio. Fly high, E. We'll miss you forever. Whew, that's just so sad. Oh, my word. So, yeah, the Instagram one is much more current. But the Facebook one's not current. Twitter, not current. So, moving back to the 4chan. Hope you guys are following my flow. Okay. So, here they say... I'm just checking. Okay. Sigma has made their socials private and removed all info from Facebook going back a few years. They believe Ethan and Xana were the main targets, stemming from an argument that night. Downstairs, survivors could hear two males rummaging through the room above them. Figured it was an after party, locked the doors, and went to bed. When they discovered them in the morning, about 30 minutes before the 911 call, they called their friends at Sigma to come over, who in turn called the police. It's right across the street. For whatever reason, they believed it was people from Sigma upstairs around 2:15 that night. The back door was left open, one dead in the bed, the other blocking their room's door with their body. Police just updated their Facebook to reiterate that they are not looking into the activities of that night. And we've already seen these two, well, at least this one, this fraternity is on like probation. We've had a look at that before, so check that out in a previous episode. But they say they are not looking into the activities of that night, only the murders, which to me suggests something went on. A fight, drugs, etc., and spilled into anger later that night and got them killed. Also, didn't want to release the profile they created as it would cause undue fear in the community, i.e. Greek life. More coming shortly. Okay, so let's just see what you guys are saying. Yes, and congrats to Robin Randa for being a member for 3 months. Generally, Jenny's like, Rogaine Jack. Oh, man. Okay. And Diana says they may not have used those two, but use Insta more. Perhaps, yes, perhaps. Okay. And PT says, I have a 50% PJ party now. Very nice. Valerie says, let me tell you something. Okay. So then we carry on here. They say it looks to be the case, never relaxed around roided up wigger zoomers. So Dirty South Loach did it, and Rogaine Jack was in on it. And Titties was in the wrong place at the wrong time, i.e. Madison's bed. So again, I'm just reading what they're saying. I would never talk like this in my life, but that would be David Loach that we looked at earlier. Rogaine Jack. I still wonder exactly which Jack that is. Rogaine Jack. I mean, is it Jack S? Is it food truck guy? I don't know which Jack that is. Jack 1, 2, or 3. And then they're calling Kaylee a derogatory name there as well. Yes, except Rogaine Jack was not in on it. It was Schizo, C-U-N-T, Berry, and Dirty South Loach. Then they say, how was Jack in on it? I don't buy it. The comment about ample opportunity was in response to someone asking why Rogaine Jack didn't take revenge on Dirty South Loach if he was aware that Dirty South Loach had killed his girlfriend, Mads. So that's Jake. You see, they're messing up the names here. If they had just studied some of the stuff that we've covered, there's 3 Jacks. There's a Jake, which is Maddie's boyfriend, a Jeremy, a Joe, a Justin, and a James. Mm-hmm. I think they're talking about Jake, Maddie's boyfriend, because they're talking there about it. Okay. The bishop says, OMG, guess I won't be able to sleep tonight waiting for tomorrow's Delphi live show. You and me both. You and me both. I'll be very excited as well. So they say, wonder if Frat Anon is Ethan's brother. Taking suggestions for what to call this mess so far. I've got the Ballsack Massacre, Nutgate, Bromageddon, the U of I Zoomer murders. And they say, Steroid Wigger Zoomers. David Berries liked a tweet the day after the murders. And they show that, so I'm not too sure exactly what that is because now everything's archived. And they say Loach's tweets about leaving the country, preferably in reference to a sports game, but it shows it's on his mind. That is interesting. So never mind the rumors of, oh my word, is the Jack S, did he leave the country? Is he in Africa? Well, I don't know. Where the hell is Loach? Where the hell Loach at? Oh man. I'm just saying, this proves the point that I was saying earlier as well. I think it was about 2 or 3 episodes ago, live streams ago, where it's like everyone's focusing, of course, on the food truck video and all the characters we know about. But this is the, what happens on the internet. But the thing is, what about all the ones we don't know? There must be so much footage from the corner club, as we say. There must be footage from the game that happened that day. Who knows who attended it, if they did or didn't. We don't know. We don't know what they did before 10 o'clock at night, right? Okay. Sorry, I'm laughing at someone's comment there. All right, so yes, Jake, exactly. That would be Jake S. Okay, moving on. So then they say the tweets about leaving the country. Okay, so I'm assuming he didn't and he's still there. And I'm sure the police are talking to everyone for information. Now this one, they say, bruh, you can see the King Road house from David's Sigma Chi room. Once that 3rd floor light turned off, they did it. 19 minutes total. Walked, the walk included. Because the walk is very short as well. Walk in, do it, walk out. That's what they're saying. Talked about the shit at Bishop Kelly and Sigma Chi. Loach and Ethan got in a fight that night. Xana allegedly talking shit. L had probs, that's Loach, with Mads also. This shit been brewing since fall rush last year. CUNTS went quiet on social media for 2 weeks before and after the deed. Barry's mom is paralegal, so he knows not to say shit. Loach cleared his social media. It is on private, yes, indeed. And then I don't know why they have to say, had to take a, okay. And then Sigma Chi 22 saw E, X, Loach, and Barry at the party. Loach and E have issues, back to E rushing. Are you guys following? Porcupine Pancake is like G saying, bruh, my word. I say it all the time. I might be 38, but bruh. I hope you guys are following. What? Social Butterfly said, be careful. Jack SC is in your neck of the woods. In the Netherlands? What? Okay. So Loach and Ethan have issues, back to E rushing. I'm just saying the full name so you can follow. I'm just repeating what this person's writing. Ethan talks shit about Loach taking roids and having his balls shrivel. Loach pissed as he wanted X. Okay. For dumbass youngins like E, tutors are assigned. Barry blew it with E. E, a 2nd-year fresher. Barry also self-conscious about his spick blood and talks empty shit. Barry and Loach talked about the shit in general for a while. Talked about leaving their cell phones behind and on YouTube on autoplay. No pings, no guns, too loud, area dead early, Sunday mornings. Barry even calls out shit media. Media saying titties was a target. That shit is false. Titties bad luck. Targets were E, X, and Mads. Okay, Mads talked shit about Loach, never acknowledged Barry. Mads right about that one. He is a CUNT. Loach should have also taken out Barry. Are you guys following? No, it's not Tank Top Guy. I'm going to show you again. quickly. Hope it's all making sense, though. There we go. I've got the pictures again. Loach. So 2 Davids and Ethan, I believe, are of the same fraternity, or were all at the Sigma Chi party. And this is all saying that Loach is the roid guy, and then they're accusing him of being, I don't know what, in some kind of relationship or making murder fantasies with the other David, 2 Davids. There's other ones I've seen of all kinds. Let me not go there. There's just all kinds, believe me. So I'm just reading it so you can, because I see this going around and people are just not figuring out exactly what they're saying. So I thought I could just like help decode it, right? Okay, so we're carrying on. So here they say Dirty South, Loach, and E hated each other. Barry got a bid because our house GPA sucked and the NC was on our asses. Barry is schizo. Dirty South and E could not be more opposite. Mads did talk shit. Dirty also pissed she with Rogaine Jack. Had to charge. No plug. Mads also the target. Teddy's not a target at all. Bad luck, well-known fact. High probability some brothers are aware. Rogaine had ample opportunities and will play the grieving boyfriend. Barry actually talked about this shit in detail in the past. Wear electrician's gloves. Put on baggy clothes after and walk away. By the way, Barry's dad works for a professional cleaning company. That shit was disposed of in Garden City over the Thanksgiving holiday. So this is the 4chan stuff that everybody's talking about online. I hope it helps just explain it. Do we know if there's any validity to it or not? No. No. But what if it is a frat boy posting because 4chan is an anonymous place to post. So as someone just said, don't be a hypocrite. You don't normally discuss this. No, I don't normally discuss this stuff. Why is it interesting? I hope you heard me in the beginning of why I'm even reading it out. Because what if it is frat boys talking anonymously of like what they heard and what they know? We just heard from the police officer how many people from Sigma Chi and the surrounding fraternities and sororities were outside the house when they got to the scene, talking about who's in that house, what happened. It was a very somber scene. So, broken down the 4chan stuff for you guys. Hope that makes sense as well. And then I wanted to, let's just quickly have a look what I've got going on here for you. So we've looked at all of that. We've looked at the Paradise Creek death as well. I'll show you quickly as well the 4chan thing. It's this. It says thread archived. You cannot reply anymore. So this is what it is. This is what it looks like. This is the format. Okay. So kind of like Reddit, but kind of, I don't know, different format, I suppose. Okay. So we carry on. Those are the call logs. Oh, yes. So here they were also saying this was actually 6 days ago.
As the investigation continues, fill in key gaps in the timeline the night that 4 students were stabbed to death as the investigation continues in Moscow, Idaho. Now, part of that timeline includes a party at a fraternity house where investigators believe Xana and Ethan were at some point before they returned home. Senior national correspondent Brian Inton is live in Moscow. And Brian, you spoke with the president of the Sigma Chi fraternity house.
Yeah, Nicole, this was our very first time speaking with the president of that fraternity. You know, they've really been under the microscope because we know 2 of the victims were at that fraternity house a short time before the murders. The president says they are fully cooperating with the police. The flag is at half-staff at the University of Idaho Sigma Chi fraternity house. The last place victims Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin were seen alive, according to police. For the first time, we are hearing from the fraternity's president.
I knew them. Ethan was always in our house. Xana was a good friend before, Ethan even came up.
So have you seen this before? This would be the fraternity, the Sigma Chi fraternity president speaking here to Brian Inton. Good job, Brian Inton.
Place victims Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin were seen alive, according to police. For the first time, we are hearing from the fraternity's president.
I knew them. Ethan was always in our house. Xana was a good friend before, Ethan even came up. But that's all I really want to talk about right now because I actually have class here in like 15 minutes.
Sigma Chi President Reed Offson says the fraternity is cooperating with the investigation. The fraternity is about half a block from the house where the murders happened.
Does anyone know where they were during that timeline? Like there's still this big chunk where...
As of right now, we've told Moscow PD, Idaho State Police, and the FBI all we know. We're kind of leaving it up to them to piece it together. Obviously, we don't have the utilities or research and do it on our own. So we're just putting full faith in the officers and in the detectives doing it. But that's all I really know right now.
Are there any cameras around?
Not on the property.
So that was interesting 6 days ago already. There's no cameras on the property at the Sigma Chi fraternity house. That's what he said, right? Not for sure. I hope I always say it right. Not for sure. The Tokyo Grizzly Cub. Grizzlies, did you know that we have got Grizzlies all over the world in this community? I love it. So thank you so much. And again, thank you for the fan art that you sent me. I feel like the only reason that the cesspool of 4chan hasn't been shut down is because it's a wealth of anonymous morons spilling their secrets with abandon gold for law enforcement from time to time. I agree. Yes.
Moscow police say they are investigating the time frame between 9 p.m. the night before the murders on November 12th and 1:45 a.m. when Ethan and Xana were believed to be at the Sigma Chi house. Meanwhile, detectives are not commenting on whether or not they are making significant progress in the case, only saying they have no suspects identified and will not release information at the risk of compromising the investigation.
Okay. Let's see what else we got.
And we have learned that starting tomorrow, police will go into the house behind me, which is still a crime scene, and start removing some of the personal items that belong to the victims. They say
That we saw.
they want to return those items.
Okay, so we saw that. So what I also want to say is, say it delicately, we, the Grizzly community, are an older community. Okay, we are all, my community, most, like 90% between the age of, like I'm 38 years old, right? But the Grizzly community is like 45 and up, right? So I'm just saying, sometimes, I mean, we all think alike, it's like our generations. But we've got to think a little outside the box about the social media stuff. I mean, I don't have the Be Real app. That was new to me in the Kylie Rodney case. I'm like, what's Be Real? So like the Be Real app where you can just suddenly take a snapshot and it shows exactly where you are and exactly what you're doing. And we saw also Kaylee on the Be Real app sharing a snapshot and her address was literally right there. I know people at the college would probably know the address, but if it is like a stalker, a voyeur, a stranger, just watching on social media, just with the Be Real app, you could literally see that. So we gotta just think a little bit outside the box. And as I say, professional criminal profiler John Kelly is someone who inspires me greatly to think a little bit more outside the box, because I'm very like, I bullet points and only this, and we will stick to the facts. But I don't want to be like stubborn and just say like, no, we're not going to look at anything that all these youngsters. I always wondered, when am I going to be old enough to say these youngsters? So literally, these youngsters, we got to look at what they're up to, especially on social media. Huh? Okay, I just quickly want to do something. Just give me 1 second, please. I'm just going to set up the stream for tomorrow, which I hope that you will set your reminder for as well. We still got just a few things to look for. Exactly. You see, you guys say your age. If you're proud of it, say it. If you don't want to say it, it's okay. But you see what I mean? The analytics, they don't lie. So I get it. I'm actually very conservative in my thinking as well, but we got to just sometimes just explore, well, what are all these apps about? And what are all these like frat boys and sorority girls doing in 2022? What are they doing? Where are they posting? What's happening? Right? Okay. Everyone posting the age, right? You guys are so cute. I love this community. Oh my word. So let's see. We got 90.2 Grizzlies now. Oh my word. You guys are amazing. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't yet, 40% of you watching, maybe even now, haven't subscribed yet. So please hit that subscribe button. Old Jerry says, I'm 61 and proud of it. I love it. Okay. So now, wait, I've got a few more things here lined up. Let's just quickly look at what is this now. What is that? Okay, I've got this as well. Just gathering. Oh, we just saw that. Yeah, this is what I also had so that I could show you this. Then I wanted to go over let me just check my little checklist here. Yes, I have checklists for everything. My name is Grizzly K, if you didn't know. I'm 38 years old, living in the Netherlands. I'm South African, married to a Swiss man, and I was an airline pilot before, so I work on like checklists. Before that, a swimmer, so like time and checklist. That's my thing. Anyway, so I want to show you now the call logs. Where the hell are they? Got so many things pinned. Sorry. Ah, there you go. Okay. Thank you to everyone who sends me these because you remind me to look at it. This was from the 9th of December. So I just started going. I always go over this, you guys. I can go over this stuff all day, honestly. I do a lot of like a lot. I'm actually downplaying it. I do a lot of research. There's hours and hours, that goes into what I do. So, and I'd bring you the tip of the iceberg, 90% facts. And then sometimes we can just look at a few things, right? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so now I'm just looking at this because I found some interesting things. So I can't remember exactly which date. We're going to start on this one here, 12/9/2022, 500 block Queen Road. Okay, they say, so this was the 9th of December. That was 4 days ago. They say RP complaining of loud music. Officers responded, no report. Interesting. They're just partying on. I don't know if you saw that footage. Oh my word. People are just partying on in that area as well. I mean, they're students. They've just graduated, some of them as well. I get it, but like, wow. It's always so scary to see like, whew, life goes on. Thank you. No, for sure. The Tokyo Grizzly Club. People talk about their dream BLA rotation, but Grizzly is my dream high school group project rotation. Oh, thank you. Valerie R. says, Xana been released to her family. Ethan had a funeral. Kaylee and Maddie cremated together. Have I missed info? If you guys also missed that, Kaylee and Maddie were cremated and the ashes apparently, like both families have their ashes, including, you know what I mean. So yeah, Xana, I'm not too sure. I actually don't know. Welcome, Brenda. So glad to have you. Okay, so if we look here, they say, request check on daughter was supposed to call her. Okay, we're carrying on. So people are on high alert still, of course. Officer requested a case for DUI. There's going to be interesting ones here, so just hang in there. Third party report of trespassing. Officer arrested a male on a warrant. No report. Okay, I'm just looking. There were some things here. Complaint of a possibly wanted person. Damn, okay. RP requesting a welfare check on a dog. No report. There's a hit and run that occurred. Wallet stolen, carrying on. Sorry for the silence. I just want to see. Suspicious person or circumstance, 500 block of Troy Road. It's all in the immediate surroundings, right? RP reporting that employee found a suspicious note in his back roll-up door. Officer advised no report. They found a suspicious letter at the residence. I wonder what these letters and notes are all about. What is going on there? And this one says, a customer just walked out and another customer thought that the subject might be wanted by the FBI. RP did not see the customer at all. Officer responded, no report. So I wonder, my thinking was, oh, so is someone confirming that maybe Jack S. hasn't left the country? Jack S., is that him? They're like, but he's right here. He hasn't left the country. This is what I can imagine it being, right? Yeah, we go. I found the one I wanted to show you. Cases with Cal says, why does this brat call dude C's? Hate that word. You know what, Cases with Cals? Can you believe that someone that is no longer in this community that was called me that yesterday on Twitter? Go to Twitter @GrizzlyGizzlet to find out. It was horrible. Lori, thank you so much for your super sticker. Okay, so here they say, this is what I wanted to read to you. Wait for it. Yeah. This one right here, harassment, because people are like, these YouTubers, And yes, sometimes YouTubers can cross the line. Sometimes maybe they're protesting passionately, right? Maybe they're calling people. Maybe they're threatening doxing. I don't know. But wow, I always saw this and I'm like, what? Harassment, 600 block of West Palouse River Drive. Time reported 16:45 on the 9th. They say RP states the Daily Mail News is going door to door in the area, harassing people for information. Officers responded, no report. Wow. Cheryl Locke, thank you so much. You say, have they debunked the story about what Kaylee's father said regarding the wounds? I love your channel. The thing is, Kaylee's sister has said on Facebook, as we looked at those yesterday, those screenshots, that it's very bad reporting. They've got wrong information. I do still wonder about it. And I do think that sometimes, they use very graphic language in those types of articles. And maybe that's what's bugging them. I'm not too sure. We are yet to find out. I don't know yet. Caroline says, no, gasp, YouTubers over the line? Can you believe it? Yes. States on the cases, I believe Kaylee's dad said that. Remember, he said there were things that he wanted to tell Lawrence Jones, but he said, but law enforcement told him not to. Exactly. So I wonder if now it's like, is it like backpedaling, like, oh crap, I shouldn't have said that? Or is it like, I said a few things and then journalists took that and made it like really graphic, which isn't ever nice. I struggle to read some of those articles, as you know. I know we're in true crime, but like I do it in a sensitive way. And I just sometimes hate it when they're like, when they say like, I'm going to give an example. So yes, trigger warning. When they say these 4 victims were slaughtered and like, oh, I hate that language. Come on, we can do better, guys. Never mind that other guy that was like blood curdling scream, which by the way, all those videos have been taken down. I see the one that faked the audio. Create design. Great work, girl. Greats from Belgium. See, Grizzly? We got Grizzly. Thank you so much. In Belgium, in Asia, all over the world. UK, say where you're from if you're in the chat right now. Yes. So actually, now that the guy's been outed so much, yes, I saw Plunder did a video, very good as well. Pascal talked about it. Ikid Mel talked about it. I talked about it. Joseph Morris is the channel that faked the audio. And yes, the videos have been taken down, which I don't know if that's from reporting or, if it's like, is it like mass reporting or did he take it down or is there legal action threatened? I don't know. But the point is, usually YouTubers are always to blame. Like it's always YouTubers, but then it's almost like this invisible battle between YouTubers and mainstream media. I'm not too sure why, because like, I don't know. It's sort of same, right? But here they say the Daily Mail is going door to door harassing people for information. So, wow. Okay. That was interesting to read. That was interesting. Hey, nice to see where you guys are all from. Tasmania, Illinois, Canada, Boston, Massachusetts. Very nice. Yes, Stereophonics, he blocked me too. New Orleans, Canada, Southern California, Michigan. Look at that. Taiwan, Chile. Oh, my word. New Orleans, East Coast, USA, Mississippi, New York, Washington. Damn, Hawaii, Aloha, Wisconsin, Tennessee. Oh, my goodness. Grizzlies from all over the world. Okay, so that was that one, the Daily Mail harassing people. I was like, whoa, somebody actually called that in? Oh, my word. We won't be too much longer. We've already been over an hour. It's an hour 18 now. Here as well. Let's just see quickly. Request to speak with officer. They say RP said there was a male in the area walking around the yard of the sorority. Officer responded, male is security. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I'm just like, someone's like, that's it. There's someone walking here, but they say male is security. So at least people are calling things in when they, everyone is very nervous at the moment, and they should be, because someone or someone's who is or are capable of murdering 4 people so brutally. Yeah, they could do things again, right? I hope not. I hope they catch them soon. And I hope they never strike again. So that was from the 9th. Okay. That was 09. So let's go to the 11 one. We're going to do 11, 12, and 13. I mean, as I say, I could sit here with you on a whole stream just looking at these since it happened, right? But there were just a few that I saw that I'm like, the Daily Mail one is what I wrote down. I thought that was very interesting as well. Okay. Thank you. You say, I heard people were claiming they've heard the 911 call. I used to translate DV and infanticide impact statements for a university here. Believe me, they're never going to release it, and no one will want to hear that anyway. Thank you so much, and I agree. I actually did see that starting to go around, like people saying there's a 911 call going around. No, not. If you hear that, it's probably fake right now. It is fake right now. Let's just say it as it is. Suspicious person or circumstance. They received 2 phone calls this morning from a male. The male was making concerning statements. I wonder what those statements are, right? Someone thought that someone was following them home as well. And here, this could be a YouTuber. I'm not sure. But they say security reporting a drone flying around the house. The drone has crossed the police line. So it is the 1100 block of King Road. That's 1122 King Road. Okay. So someone obviously wasn't standing like right there. Otherwise, they would have seen the someone. But security was reporting a drone flying outside the house, obviously getting the drone footage, and it probably isn't authorized drone pilots. Mary V, thank you so much. Kev, Milwaukee, Dharma stomping grounds, right? Yep, indeed. I hope you've read my Dharma book. If you guys didn't know, I've written 4 true crime books, and then I came to YouTube, where I could talk to you much more. This suits my my high energy level a lot better than sitting and writing all day. So I hope you enjoy me being here rather than just writing books all day, right? Okay, so that one was interesting, the drone one. Someone is calling in to talk about the body cam footage released by MPD, reference the King Street incident, officer contacted. If you see anything interesting here, screenshot it, send it to me. But I'm just going through a few. I wanted to show you the Daily Mail one, the drone one. Thank you, Beholder. Congrats on hitting 90K. Well deserved. Grizzly, thank you so much. The GOAT in true crime. Thank you so much. If you guys don't know what GOAT is, it's greatest of all time. Some people don't know. Someone on Twitter said, "You're the GOAT of true crime," the other day. And then someone else was so offended, like, "How dare you say that to Gisela?" And I'm like, no. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. GOAT. Okay, so here was a trespassing complaint. RP reporting a male who makes RP and other members uncomfortable. That is so interesting. Can you imagine if it's going to be the same culprits? Oh my gosh, imagine that. Okay, there's an odd call on a business line here. Here's another anonymous phone call on a business line. And here, this was South Main Street, 2324. RP heard screaming and sounds like someone was getting hurt and saying stop, sounded like pain. Officers responded, no report. So I don't know if that's from the fake audio that they received that. You see, that's the problem with creating fake things. There's many problems. Firstly, it's very criminal, illegal. Don't do that. But can you imagine all the tips that law enforcement got flooded with when that fake audio was sent around? Oh my word. So we went 9, we went 11, now we go to 12, then 13, and then we're done. I think we're done. We might want to look at one more thing. Sorry, Phil says the Grizzly goat. And we like goats. Okay, this one's from the 12th. I think I have one more clip to show you actually after this. About the glove being found, which was taken into evidence. Chris McDonough, former detective, the interview room, he found a glove when he went out there and walked around the house. His footage was actually really good walking around the house and showing us the heel and everything. That was before Brian Enton even got there. I also heard that Dog the Bounty Hunter wants to head out there now. What do you guys think about that? Sinner, 1977. Thank you so much. Dog the Bounty Hunter. I'm going to just say something quickly. Okay. I ordered a shirt from Dog the Bounty Hunter from his merch range. It is the best big shirt I've ever had in my life. I like XXL and XL shirts. I like baggy shirts, big shirts. And there's nothing I've ever received like the Dog the Bounty Hunter shirt. It is so good. In case you guys also like baggy shirts. Okay. But his shirts are very high quality, very good. I'm just saying. Okay. So tell him I sent you. Noise complaint. Yeah, this is on the 12th. So this was yesterday, right? Yeah. Noise complaint. It sounds like the neighbors upstairs are throwing themselves against the floor and hear stomping. So 1400 block, it's different addresses. I just wanted to see in this immediate area what's happening, right? Roads like a sheet of ice. They say they used to get, alerts of like there's a moose on campus, like everybody be careful, or, like watch out for the snow. And when everyone got that alert for a homicide occurring at that 1122 King Road, it was a big shock to the whole community. Okay, 1600 block Main Street. RP's neighbor makes a lot of noise, drags furniture. Stray animals as well. Ooh, that's a German Shepherd. Wow. Keep your German Shepherd safe based on everything else we know, right? Yeah, the glove wasn't actually found before. You're like, no. Most of you saying no to dog. Okay, put a 1 in the chat if you want Dog the Bounty Hunter to go out there, and put a 2 in the chat if you don't, just so that I can see for interest sake. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Okay, so this is just, I don't think there was anything really happening on this day. Here they say RP would like to talk to an officer about a subject having formerly trespassed. West Pullman Road, Stinker Station. Interesting. 900 block Vandal Drive. Gray Ram, PU, a pickup parked in front of mailboxes for several days. Officer responded. Okay. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Most of you saying 2. Okay. Dog the Bounty Hunter. Yeah, I think at this point, yeah. Kathleen's like 2. I don't think this is quite the right situation for that, right? The Brian Laundrie days are understood completely. Again, that's also just a rumor. I don't even see he said it. I just see someone else said it. What is going on here? Interesting. We're going to just look at one more and then a clip. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, what is this one? I'm going to move this over here so that I can look at it while you watch this one. This is about the glove.
Of potential evidence everybody is talking about online, the glove that the police almost missed. It was dropped or it was thrown out outside the home where the 4 college students were stabbed to death in Moscow. And there is a good chance that it would still be there right now.
Look at it. I don't know how they missed it. I don't know if it's got anything to do with anything. But I mean, Chris McDonough was out there and he's like, there's a glove. He said it was still within the where they taped off the area. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
But for a former homicide detective turned podcaster who noticed it while he was actually visiting the scene on Thanksgiving, which is 11 days after the murders. Chris McDonough is a veteran of the Oceanside, California Police Department, and currently he's the director with the National Cold Case Foundation. He's also co-host of the podcast, The Interview Room, and he is live with me tonight. Detective, it's so good to have you. First of all, I am shaking my head as I even think I'm doing this interview with you. Take me there. Tell me what happened. You literally showed up and looked down and said, hello, gentlemen, come over here. Have you seen this? Is that really how simple this was?
Yeah, it really was, Ashley. I mean, it was my wife and I, it was Thanksgiving Day. We happened to be up here in Idaho. And I said to her, I said, hey, let's just go over where that, situation's taking place at the university.
Interesting. Ebony Adams says they cleared that up. That glove was from forensics. Interesting. Okay. Didn't know that.
To get some tape. And we're walking up the street, and the first thing that caught my attention, to be honest with you, was all of the cars still parked on the property. And then I looked over and I saw that.
I'm just going to pause there. Karen says apparently the glove was from one of the detectives working on the case. Interesting. I mean, has that been confirmed? Interesting either way, right? That again, we saw, oh my word, with the Debbie Collier case. Remember that? Remember the scene and how all those blue gloves were just everywhere? If you know nothing about the Debbie Collier case, check that playlist out too. If you like the way I've covered this case, if you've only just joined my channel now, I'm sure you'll like the way, because this is what I do with every case. Presentations, bullet points, going over clips, everything is like, we have one stream, one video at a time that we look in lots of details. So check that out as well. One of the detectives. Interesting.
There was an officer controlling the scene sitting in his vehicle. And I looked to the left and I saw that what appeared to be a glove. And I looked at my wife and I said, is that a glove? And she goes, yeah, I think it is. And so about where Brian was standing tonight, I walked over and looked over, and sure enough, it was a glove. And I immediately got
you know
the
what I'm going to
attention
do? I am going to, Chris, thank you for saying that. When we go back to Brian in a little bit, I'm going to actually ask him to walk me to the exact spot so that everybody who's watching right now gets the full perspective. Sometimes it's hard when you're watching through a one-dimensional TV screen. So I'm going to do that. In the meantime,
hello to all content creators who are here. I see you guys are greeting a few. I'm scrolling up, but the scroll is just going. I can't see. So again, I see you guys are saying hello to the mob crew. Hi to the mob crew. Hello to the glarer. Hello if anyone else is here, if I'm missing you. Sorry about that.
Help me out with this one, because you're the murder detective, but you're also the person who found it. What kind of glove was it, and the significance of the kind of glove as pertains to a murder?
Well, I can't really tell what type of glove it is, if it's a male, female. And obviously the significance may be nothing, but it also could be very significant. There appeared to have snow on it, so I assumed it had been there for quite some time, at least before the earlier snowfall. I later learned there are photographs of that glove floating online, and you can clearly see it there. And I was unaware of those at the time. And when I told the officer, I waved him over and I said, "Hey, you need to come take a look at this." And he walked over, and his first words were, "Oh, wow." And I said, "Yeah." And I told him, I said, "Hey, I'm."
So if they're walking over and saying, "Oh wow," I mean, it's just interesting. It's. I saw this when it happened, which was probably now like 2 weeks ago. I'm amazed it's only hitting the news now. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's nothing. But the thing is, as someone said earlier in the chat, the point is, why did they leave anything? You take out what you take in. That's the thing, right? That's the thing.
I'm a retired homicide guy. You probably want to collect that, get your evidence people out here to do that. And he took some photographs of it, and I assumed that they, had collected it. I videotaped him doing it just in case, at least taking the photographs. But yeah, it was crazy. It was just sitting there.
And this is, to be clear, it's inside the crime tape. This was not something that you discovered outside the crime tape, but they weren't watching, they weren't looking for it. So they'd had 11 days to scour the outside of the property. And I need to remind our viewers that you're from California, where one of the biggest first cases of my career happened, and a bloody glove was the significant piece of evidence in O.J. Simpson's case, which is why we don't make light of something that's just maybe looks like garbage. Certainly that's just a couple dozen feet from the front door.
Yeah, I mean, the significance of it, is unknown at this point. Obviously, if it is involved, then it could be, very important. If it's not, then, at least you have it and you can put it into evidence just to say it's there. The officer, in my opinion, said he was going to bring the evidence folks to come collect it. And I hope they did that, to be honest with you.
So the other key.
Okay, so we know about the glove now, and at least they can, they could have collected it and said, oh, whoops, we dropped that or cleared it or whatever. I still think it's a good finding case because, I don't know, my gut instinct will still say that whoever did this came in kind of prepared. Maybe they didn't, but in my gut feel, which could be wrong sometimes, right? Gut feel isn't always accurate. But anyway, my gut feel is like, what if they came in with gloves? And that's why maybe they didn't cut themselves. I don't know. We don't know that. Also, a former detective that I'd watched earlier was saying, let me think what he's saying. Oh yeah, everyone's saying the comment that I put on earlier, how could there be no blood trail? How can there be no bloody shoe prints? But it was actually, sorry, again, to name drop, okay? Detective Ken Mains from Unsolved No More. That's his channel. Go check it out. It's like super logical, no BS. Love it, right? And so he was saying if the person came in there and there were 2 in the bed on the second floor, 2 in the bed on the third floor, right? And he stands like over the bed and does what he does. It's not like he's going to be covered in blood and he could easily just walk out. You know what I mean? Without like the shoes and pants and everything being covered in blood. So that was interesting as well, the way that he explained it. So go check out his video. He explains it much better than I just did. So yes. Oh my word. Oh, okay, sorry. Laughing Stock says ABC News just put up a 1-month update. Yes, I've got that. I've got it right here for you guys. So let's quickly go there. It's right here ready for you. Thank you, Laughing Stock. Let's just do this one. And then I think we've worked through just about everything. I'll make sure to link all the stuff as well. They say Idaho community shows resilience in wake of murders. I don't know about you, but I probably want to see the video rather than read it right now. Wait.
On the search for the killer of 4 college students in Idaho. As families gathered on campus for fall graduation ceremony, so many questions still lingering. ABC's Phil Lipoff is here with more. Good morning, Phil.
Good morning, Janae. It's a very unsettled weekend, as you would imagine, at the University of Idaho in Moscow, as it's a very real fear, as it's been a month now since 4 students were murdered in off-campus housing. And the police chief there, in an effort to calm fears, has made a statement, and he is saying, you'll see us at commencement as well as around town providing safety. Still, Idaho State Police combing through thousands of tips and pieces of evidence in the deepening mystery. Now investigators looking for a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra like these stock photos. They say it was in the immediate area of the home where the students were stabbed to death, saying they believe the occupants, quote, may have critical information to share about the case. According to her family, Kaylee Goncalves, one of the murdered students, was supposed to graduate this winter. The university president spoke to graduates and their families yesterday at commencement, saying these 4 students' losses is enormous and that they should not have been taken by this senseless violence. All of this while police continue to remind everyone in the area to remain vigilant and now to travel in groups. Janae?
Okay, so let's see if they say anything. Sometimes they repeat it. They say it's been 1 month since the 4 University of Idaho students were stabbed to death in an off-campus home in the college town of Moscow, and the university community has come together to heal and support one another. Authorities have not made any arrests in the slayings of Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, and Xana, leaving some residents and students on edge. When police responded to the somber scene on November 13th, they were met with a lot of tears from friends and family as they figured out who was inside the house. Moscow Police Captain Roger Lanier said in a video statement Tuesday. We looked at that together at the beginning of the stream, so if you missed that, please check out the replay as well. The gruesome murders also took a toll on the officers, some of whom were very young and facing their first major crime scene. Wow, that is a major first crime scene, huh? Imagine that. Oh my word, like new on the job, and it's like, oh my word, you're never going to forget that. This is such a safe community with such a safe history. We probably have taken that for granted. University Provost and Executive Vice President Tori Lawrence told ABC News on Tuesday, we probably need to realize that our community is not immune to acts of violence. Yep. I mean, yeah, I'm from South Africa. We know that, right? Unfortunately not, right? Make sure you stay safe, everyone. And yeah, unfortunately, anything can happen anyway. Erica Eberlein, welcome to membership. So they say, despite the tragedy, students took a moment to celebrate on Saturday at the university's winter commencement. I mean, seeing this picture, isn't this just so sad to see the house like this? Oh my word, and like right before Christmas and everything. This is terrible. Goncalves, who was 21 years old, was supposed to be one of those graduates. It's been a tough few weeks at our community, and I want to acknowledge an enormous loss in our Vandal family, University of Idaho President C. Scott Green said to the crowd of graduates and parents. That must have been such a weird moment to be excited to graduate, but at the same time, devastated by what's happened to other students. I mean, it must have been a really weird graduation ceremony, right? I did watch it, I'm just saying, emotionally. Yeah, they've also got bears and flowers and things outside there for them as well. Vandal strong. Wow. One University of Idaho alumna, Carrie Ullhorn, said she wanted to ensure students felt safe on the campus. Ullhorn, a 2007 graduate and member of the Delta Gamma sorority, created a social media page called Do Good, University of Idaho, a nod to an affiliation with Delta Gamma. Together, she and the group raised more than $20,000 and purchased 2,187 birdies, a personal safety device for the Vandal community, she told ABC News. I had messages from people I've never met, people that I weren't even Vandals, that are just so touched by this. It's kind of like a bright light in this really dark situation, Ullhorn said. This whole thing just reminded me of how proud I am to be a Vandal. Oh man, look at that. Cafe Artista. They put candles and their names on the window as well. That is so sad, seeing like the Christmas theme and their names. And again, we think of the families of these victims. It is unimaginable what they're going through. Arby's here. They say our hearts are with our Vandals. We love you, Moscow. Stay safe. Physical reminders of the losses are visible on campus and in town. Greek Row is honoring the 4 students with flags and banners on their houses. Pi Beta Phi, the sorority Mogen and Kernodle belong to, set up a memorial. Just want to check. Yeah, okay. Set up a memorial angel tree on their porch. The sorority sisters posted to their social media page inviting all members of the community to place an ornament to honor their slain members. Memorial angel tree. Anyone welcome to add an angel? Oh, man, it's so sad. Vandal Strong here as well. They say the 4 doves on Vandal Strong for the 4 students killed on November 13th. Oh, man. Kappa Alpha Theta displays a painted Vandal Strong banner on their chapter house. Sigma Chi, the fraternity Chapin belonged to, had its flag at half-staff. I saw that as well the other day. Darlene Weaver said, don't you think the school should have given her parents her diploma? I do, Darlene. Yes, I do. I agree with you. Yes, I do. So sad. Moscow businesses have adorned their windows with the victims' names, and the tree at the center of town is decorated with roses and notes of remembrance. So someone was asking me the other day on email about this, the notes, but this is where it is at. You could see it there. Okay. So I'm just quickly finishing this up. Just remember that this stream will lead you to tomorrow's stream. If I have to tweak the time or anything, I might have to do that. But I just want to quickly check my emails. Okay. So tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern time, I'm going to be talking to John Kelly, criminal profiler, addiction specialist, about the Delphi case. He has 46 parts of his Delphi discussions on his channel. His channel is John Kelly Profiler, so go check that out as well. It will be linked tomorrow, but make sure your notifications are on for that tomorrow because you don't want to miss that. Here they say, Vandal strong, we will get through this together, Moscow. As the investigation continues, Lanier said Tuesday that police are closely guarding the information that we've discovered at the scene and our investigation information because we want to protect the integrity of this investigation. But he promised the investigation is not cold. We get tips every day that are viable. So that's how you know also that case is not cold, is when tips are still rolling in. And of course they would be. I mean, in Delphi, the tips were still rolling in 5 years later, 5.5 years later. It wasn't a cold case. This isn't a cold case. It's been 1 month. Thank you so much. Case of the Mondays. So remember yesterday when we looked at the update, he said, we don't just want an arrest, we want a conviction. Yes. So we must just remember that. I think I discussed everything with you. I think I'm just going to call it a day now, even if I didn't, because holy moly, we went through a lot. We went through so much today. I hope that you enjoyed it as well. I just quickly want to see something. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay. So here is my channel. Damn, 90.3 Grizzlies. Oh my word, that is so exciting. Okay, so make sure you are subscribed. And then if you go to this one for tomorrow, if you just click this notify me, it will notify you half an hour before I go live. So even if I change the time a little bit, I probably won't. But if I do, based on my guest, John Kelly, then you'll know when I'm going live, half an hour before and when I go live. So make sure you click notify me. Delphi profile of a kidnapper. Is he BG with John Kelly? Did he commit the final act? If you haven't watched my Delphi playlist, please do. Then you understand all the charges that he's facing, why they've given him that specific charge, the kidnapping type 1, possibly, and all of that. So I'm very excited. As you know, I had John Kelly on here. You guys have been enjoying watching this one, Idaho College Murders, the profile of the killer. So if you don't know who John Kelly is, go check out this video here. Okay, profile of the killer with criminal profiler John Kelly. Check out this one so you can get a preview of who my guest is as well. And he'll be with us tomorrow talking Delphi. So very excited about that as well. Thank you so much. I also want to say thank you to all of you who chose to spend your time here instead of watching the World Cup, unless you were watching that in the background. That's cool. I was watching the score in the background and I see that Argentina kicked ass. Huh? It's 3-0. Okay, so thank you for being here. If you missed that, I missed the live game too, to be here with you guys, because I wanted to bring you all this news. So I probably going to watch that replay now, or the highlights or whatever. Very exciting. Okay, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. This is the thing Amy says, I think the frat boys. I like how you spell boys like we do here. Frat boys. Yesterday we looked at a catfish boy. You should check that out as well. Oh my word. A cop. There was a catfish that drove across the country, murdered 3 adults, and abducted a 15-year-old girl. Then there was a shootout, and then he shot himself. Oh my word, that story is so crazy. So please go check that out. And yes, I see the story that I covered yesterday, the missing persons case, American college student missing in France. It's gaining some traction online. I see it was on News Nation. It's on a few places now. So that's great, Grizzlies. Thank you for sharing as well yesterday when we covered it. Please go check it out if you missed it. Pernille says, gee, I just quickly want to show you something. Right? Just quickly. Or remember, I'm late. I just joined. Can you just start over? Okay. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to my second channel, GNT. Okay. You'll get the vibe. All right, everyone. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.